So this shaft is on an angled plane. It's not horizontal like a baseball bat, and it's not perpendicular like croquet. Okay? The ball is always on that target line. Okay? So you always have a stick in your hand, and you've always got a line on the ground. So these two lines, or these two sticks, always stay connected. And if they stay connected throughout your total motion, it's like swinging on Junior's flat surface. So when I go back, the shaft points in an extension of that target line. Now, my peripheral vision, if I was looking at the ball and not the club pointing at I can still see the intermediate target. So I know I'm going straight back from the ball. This would be above the flat surface, okay? You want to visualize this flat surface as the pitch of a roof right now. And I'd be the chimney, okay? So this would be above it, all right? This would be right on the flat surface. This would be in the attic, all right? So when you go back, the shaft, this part right here, the shaft, is pointing right at that target line, okay? When the right arm starts to fold, the shaft no longer is pointing, neither end of it is pointing at the ground, but it's parallel to the target line. So it's still right on that roof. This one right here, because the right wrist didn't bend back, is making an X to the target line, so it's above the roof. This one right here, too much bend, okay, is inside the attic. This one right here is parallel, imperfect, all right? Then as my arms continue to raise and I continue to pivot, you see how the butt end of the club is closer to the ground now? It's pointing at the target line out there. As I continue to turn, the butt end points at the ball, okay? As I continue to turn, the butt end points back at the target line right where the mat and the shaft are right now. This one would be pointing at my foot. That's above the roof. This one's pointing at the camera. That's in the attic. This one's right back on the roof, okay? I make my full pivot, okay, where my body says, that's it, you're locked, you can't go any further. And instinct tells me at that point, since I can't go back any further, it's time to start down. When I start down, the handle still points at the target line. It passes through parallel. Then as the right elbow starts to extend, impact, as the club head's pointing at the target line, it still points at the target line through the swing. It passes through parallel again when the club shaft points left of the target. And then on this side, the club makes a reverse L, and the butt end of the club is pointing back down at the target line. Points at the target line out in front. It points at the target. It's parallel to the target line, and it rests. The club head points right back down at the target line. Okay? So that is the simplest way to be able to, that's the path right there. You know, you're right on that flat surface. As long as you got a stick in your hand and a representative of something that's a stick on the ground, you can swing this club on the simplest path every single time. But you won't know what that is until you do drills, okay? But this target line right now is the seam of your tile floor,
I use that.
or where the sliding glass door meets the floor, okay? And you start out and you point this light at that seam, and you start to swing back, okay? And you keep that light on the seam. Now, if it goes up on the glass door, you know you've done something wrong, okay? So you see how my shoulders just rose up? Okay, so it teaches you pivot and arms, okay? Because if my pivot's off, you know, so you'll get to a point in your swing where you know you're manipulating the light to stay on the line. So the shoulders just turn back, right pocket goes back, it's a centered pivot. Your posture, your chest still pointing at the ground, okay? So you're pointing at the light at the target line, then each opposing wall over there. You don't want it crisscrossed, okay? And then the butt end picks up the target line over in front of you, points back behind your foot. That's about all you need to do. Momentum, since you're set in this position, will carry you to the top comfortably. You practice with the flashlights. Once you're here, okay, in motion, when you're dynamic, your hands are just going to go up a little bit further, and you can say, that's it, I'm done. unless you come out of posture, and then you'd know that the flashlights aren't on the seam anymore, okay? On the start down, the flashlight traces the track of the sliding glass door, passes through parallel again, the right arm extends, the flashlight picks up the track of the door, continues to point at the track where the door is, points at the opposing wall again, both walls, then the butt end of the club picks up the track of the door, points at where the ball was, in front of the door, at the target, parallel, and back down at the door. Okay? All right, so your LY is point the bottom end and then point that end at the ball. Okay? So it's this right wrist and shoulder turn. Okay? That make that work. Press forward. See how the handle is still pointing at the ball? Parallel, impact, right after is follow through where the full extended Y, and I have you carrying your Y all the way to the target because I don't want those elbows to do this anymore. Okay? Those elbows do that. See where the flashlight goes? Left. Okay? And then that left, if it's that far left here, you know that it was toe impact there or something worse. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. Got the whole picture now? So the right arm folds, the elbow folds back, okay, and the right hand folds back as well. Folds down and the right hand folds back. Right. You didn't have this when we started. You were here.